wanted to discuss the recent fiasco going on with limited run games. This has become a very controversial company. Some people view it as a blessing, some people view it as a curse. Me, I haven't fully decided, but I'm gearing toward curse. In fact, yes, 100% curse, and I'll get into that. But for those who don't know, the history of this company is, long story short, they turn digital-only games and they make a physical copy of those games, but only in a very limited quantity. And the reason they do that is, one, so that there's no risk to the developer. The developer is not going to lose any money. If you're only producing, in some cases, 1,900 copies, that's really easy to sell. Some of these developers are very small. They can't risk printing 50,000 copies. They can't risk printing 200,000 copies. They just don't have the funds for whatever the reason. It guarantees them zero risk, and also it guarantees that the game actually sells, because it appeals to not only gamers who might like the game, but also collectors like myself. And if you're watching this video, you're probably also a collector. They're creating a collector's item, and collectors love things that are in limited release. So basically, you could release any game. A limited run could release any game, and it will sell out. In many cases, within the first 3 minutes. That never used to be the case, though. This is where the controversy comes. They've gotten popular now, and with popularity comes more sales. So in the beginning, when they first started, it was a win-win for them and the developer. But limited run games is so big now that they're selling out in some cases within 2 minutes. And they're also getting some big name games on the menu, in particular Night Trap and Wonder Boy. This is where the can of worms truly has begun, because the hype on these games was huge. They could have easily sold quadruple what they sold. Night Trap, let's not even get into the special edition. Okay, regular version of Night Trap, I think, had 4,800, maybe 5,000 copies. The special edition, I think, had 2,500. And the problem is that the demand, let's use Night Trap as the example. They were advertising Night Trap, okay, on Facebook. They had big name bloggers, websites, YouTubers. They had a documentary building the hype of this game. So they sold out within 2 minutes. You couldn't even check out fast enough. Although some people like myself actually got a copy somehow. Don't know how. I got really lucky. And yeah, I was waiting till 8 a.m. in my time on the button before I bought that game. But here's the real kicker, okay? They've created a business for scalpers. It's no longer for collectors. Night Trap, for example, the regular edition, you were allowed to buy 2 copies. Number one, they should have sold 50,000 of those. They could have sold 50,000, no problem. And yet they only sold 5,000. Get that they need to be limited, but why not 20,000? Because the hype was that big. Okay, you could have sold 20,000. And they'll never do that. Because it kind of defeats the purpose of what they are. And some people speculate that they're going to re-release. Are they going to re-release Wonder Boy or Night Trap and do a second print? No, they're not. That would defeat the purpose of limited run games, and nobody would trust them ever again. Then you could just re-release every game, and it defeats the collector appeal. That's part of their business. That's how they guarantee sales. That's why developers flock to them. But the issue with Night Trap being able to buy 2 copies is one that means that every single person who's logging in to buy a game and actually gets a game in their cart is choosing 2 copies, because you can scalp the other one. It's guaranteed to go up in value. And on top of that, the shipping costs $15, flat fee shipping for 1 or 2 games, so you might as well get 2. You can just sell the other one on eBay. Within minutes of the game being sold out, there was copies on eBay of the special edition being sold for $175. Within minutes, okay? Regular edition currently sells for 115 Canadian. And what is this going to be worth in, let's go out in the future, 1 year from now. Let's go 5 years from now. What's it going to be worth in 5 years? Like, these are serious collector's items. Same thing with Wonder Boy. Like, They could have sold 20,000 of those easy, and it still would have been considered limited. But they're not doing it, and nobody knows why. They should have known. Some people are saying that this may have been an error on their part, and they really strongly miscalculated demand. I don't agree with that. Any gamer would know that if you're building that much hype, it's 20,000 would have sold out within 3 minutes. Even 20,000 of these would have sold out that quickly. And there's gamers and YouTubers out there that are hanging on to a pipe dream that these are going to get re-released. No, that would defeat the purpose of the company. This is insanity. Limited run games has turned into a easy hustle for scalpers. Easy money, the easiest money anybody could ever make. You're guaranteed to double your money on just about anything, especially if it's a popular game. Okay, these are going to be collector's items, many for forever. Okay, these are going to be historical items, especially when you create a game. What was it, Lily the Chaos Geologist or something? Like, there was only 1900 games. Like, some of these are very limited. You'd think that you got to think 5 years out, 10 years out. It's not just gamers buying these things. These are scalpers. And how do I know that? Because that's what I did. I bought 2 copies of Night Trap. I got them somehow. Some of you guys are going to be pissed. And if you are, leave a comment, let me know, because I'm curious. But I'm sure I'm going to be getting death threats, okay? Death threats, because I bought 2 copies of Night Trap. Big retro gamer here. Love the Sega Genesis. You know why I bought 2 copies? Because one I'm going to sell, and one I'm going to keep, yes. However, I don't even own a PS4 yet. That might really piss some people off. I do not own a PS4. Yet here I am buying some of these limited run games. You know why? Because they're limited. You have to buy them. Because if you don't buy them, if I don't buy this game at 8 a.m. sharp when it goes on sale, I'm going to have to buy it from a scalper. And 1 year from now when I get a PlayStation, it's going to be a lot more from a scalper than it is today. Okay? But you got to think, 2,500 copies or 5,000 copies. Right off the bat, there's only 2,500. Roughly. Okay? This is rough math. Not exact. Because everybody's buying 2. So there's really only 2,500 copies available. What does that tell you? Limited run games has to do something about this. When they get big name games like that, they have to produce more. Even at double, they're still very limited. Think about it. 10,000 copies of Night Trap? That's not very much. That's still... There's Nintendo Wii games. I forget the name of that crappy publisher. Somebody write in the comment, please. But they made 10,000 copies of every game that they made. All the games suck, but their games sell for like $500 a piece now. Maybe 1,000. You can't even find them. You won't find them on eBay. You can't find them in the wild. They're that rare. A lot of them probably ended up in the garbage because they sucked anyway. But because they're 10,000 copies, everybody wants one. You got to get one to complete your collection. So this has led to even more insanity. You've got gamers and some YouTubers sending limited run games threats. They're threatening everything from blackmail to exposing them if they don't let them buy a game, buy a copy of Night Trap or Wonder Boy. Like, so many people wanted this game that this was really the tipping point of when limited run games hit the mainstream, and when people really started to take notice that, hey, these are selling too fast and you're not making enough copies. I saved this one for last. There was even a reported incident of some dude who got so mad that he couldn't get a copy of Night Trap. Well, first it was Wonder Boy. Apparently he lost his mind because he couldn't get a copy of Wonder Boy. Then when he tried to get a copy of Night Trap, this is a basement dweller. He couldn't get a copy. He got so mad, he told Limited Run Games that he was going to blow his balls off if they don't send him a copy of Night Trap. And word on the street is they did not agree to send him a copy. They didn't respond. Why would they? And he blew his balls off. He blew them off. I read a story about it. It looked legit. This particular news story was an exclusive from none other than Party Game Network. So let me know what you think of limited run games. Hit that subscribe button. See you later.